And there you have it. Get ready, get ready, get ready. It's Let's Talk Business with Cheryl J. Cousteau. It's the first hour of our show. My co-host, Derek Blue, is doing something that's going to be phenomenal. We'll talk to you a little more about it during the show. But yes, he is preparing for a special on Spectrum Bay News 9. So joining me today is our special guest, Miss PaVonne Scott. Welcome to Let's Talk Business.
Hi, thank you for having me on your show today. I'm very excited.
Well, we are just as excited as you are because we are both rocking our Juneteenth celebration shirts.
Yes, we are. And I'm so excited about this Juneteenth. Indeed, celebration. It is.
Well, listen, I want my radio audience to know just a little bit about you, PaVonne. And so for those that may not know you, and they may not, our show is global. And so that means that someone may be watching and listening to us from London. So today I have the opportunity, and I'll introduce you just like this. A star is born. Who is that star? It's PaVonne Scott. She is, oh, look at it. She is a native here. She comes from the Scott family, and that would be Robert and Doris Scott as your grandparents.
Yeah.
And then most people will know you as the daughter of Robert Scott, the founder and president of the ML King Parade Foundation. Just a little bit. And so you and your mom were in Tampa and you ended up in Atlanta.
Enid Murphy.
About how it went?
My mother. That's absolutely right.
And well, give your mom a shout out, please.
That's right. I want to shout out Enid Murphy, who is in Atlanta, Georgia, my mother, and my heart.
Awesome. Just coming off of Mother's Day, they just don't get any better than that. But a little bit about you. You were a representative at the White House?
Absolutely. I had an awesome invitation from President Barack Obama to come and speak on behalf of child care and awareness in the fight for $15 initiative on why service workers all over the world deserve a higher wage. And I'm telling you, it was the most amazing event that ever happened in my life to be recognized for the work that we do as child care workers, healthcare workers, and the initiative for the minimum wage to go up. You know, that was awesome.
Actually, that's fantastic. But let's just back up since we're talking about your resume. Well, tell us a little bit. What school did you attend here before you went on to college?
I did not attend school here in Tampa Bay, but I did attend different schools in the Florida region, and I did graduate from North Atlanta High School, and I am a graduate of Bethune-Cookman University.
Okay, Miss Wildcat.
Yes.
and I believe that's a family legacy, is it not?
It definitely is. I am proud to keep the heritage going of the total family in Bethune-Cookman. Yes.
That's phenomenal. So you're a student there. And what did you decide to major in?
Music education, of course. Music is my passion. I have been teaching in Hillsborough counties for over 14 years in the music perspective. And also I am currently a teacher at Burgess School of the Arts, where I teach guitar, voice, and piano.
Oh my goodness. So do you teach the little ones as well?
Absolutely. All ages. My youngest student is 5. They play the guitar and sing. And then I have younger students at about 3 years old learning to play the piano, to older adult students that come and just want to work on their vocal registry, their piano, and their guitar.
Now, I know that Robert Scott did a little something in the band when he was in Daytona on the campus of BCC. what did BCU now? How did you get involved in the arts, specifically music, as a child?
Music has always been my passion. As far as I can remember, being a singer at Greater Bethel Primitive Church in West Palm Beach, Florida, I've always had the passion of singing and dancing, and then learning to do music theater, taking classes at the uh, Arts Conservatory here, the Patel Arts Conservatory at the Strass Center. I became addicted to musical theater and performing on stage. So I've just performed in various productions, Carolwood Players, the Carolwood Cultural Center, and just many numerous productions here in the Tampa Bay area.
Okay, so then you graduated with a degree in music and education. When did you come back to Tampa, PaVonne?
I came back to Tampa after my graduation from Bethune-Cookman back in 2003, and I've been here ever since, working in the community and just continuing to follow my grandfather's legacy. He was Robert Scott Sr. was very active in his community, and I watched him grow up with the Tampa Hillsborough Action Plan, and I watched my father with things that he was doing in the community, and now with the MLK Parade Foundation, him and Barbara Scott, and I am just
Yes.
I'm excited and I'm encouraged to make that change in the community and be that voice for change.
That's awesome. And hearing you talk about your grandfather and his legacy actually for a moment takes me back to my childhood. And I want you to know, Robert knows this already, but your grandfather was a very dear friend of my mom's. They were classmates and I believe Middleton class of 1950. And because he was the president of the Alumni Association for many years, and him and my mom had such a friendship that lasted. As a matter of fact, he spoke at my mom's funeral.
Wow.
That's how far back their relationship goes. So to be here today interviewing his granddaughter just warms my heart. And it's just a cycle of life. And
yes.
Listening to you talk about teaching music and talking about your passion as a child, we never know how someone's life is going to be impacted. And this was the kind of grandfather you had. I remember visiting my mom, and it was her birthday. I was at her home. They lived relatively close to one another. And he had her name for Christmas. This is a funny story. And something happened to my mom's gift. And I tell you what, that bothered him. I think they exchanged names and she may have been slighted a gift. That thing bothered him so much that he went out and purchased my mom this beautiful watch and he brought it to her home.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's special.
That is special, and that's the kind of heart that my grandfather had. And if you know Doris Scott, from Delta Sigma Theta to 100 Coalition of Black Women to the Daughter of ISIS, if you know Doris Scott, you know that they both have that genuine love for their community and people, and they are just so kind-hearted. So I'm glad to be a part of that, lineage.
Well, as we talk about Juneteenth, we're talking about our culture. And the fact that we take a moment to do this, and yes, I do. You don't know this, but your grandmother may remember this. But she was one of my first employers. I was working at the summer school, and I was hired, and I was her assistant. She was teaching summer school at Lomax Elementary, and I was her assistant for the entire summer. So I have known her, worked on projects with her, done things with her. She was on our committee when I chaired the inaugural gala 1 and 2. And wow. So, yes, I know her very well. And we do a lot of things together. And I appreciate you sharing and connecting that beautiful legacy of people coming together and collaborating in our culture. It takes a village to raise a child, and
Yeah.
all of us are still doing it today. So thank you for the time that you're spending with Burgess Music School and working with our young minds and our young hands and teaching them to love the
Yeah.
arts, because it is an area that we are losing. And without people like you who have the passion for it, you're bringing things back. And that takes me to, how did you become involved with the Tampa Bay Juneteenth Correlation? I happen to know the founder very well. And so Dr. P. Tucker Johnson, she
Yes.
was a guest on our show last year and introducing us with some of the activities, but you all have grown from
Let
last
me
year
tell
to
you. Yes.
2021.
Dr. Tucker Johnson and Dr. Tucker Wicks together, the twins are making moves in Tampa. And it was only right that, we share our musical connection and the amazing plays that Blessed Production puts on. It just enlightens the community on everything that we need to keep us together as a culture, as a heritage. And I'm just so proud of what they're doing in the community with the future Blessed Elect School that they have. And music is a universal language.
It
So it's
is.
only right that we got together and we just continue working together via plays, musicals, and we have so many more engagements. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about, because Juneteenth is full of celebrations, and no doubt about it, Blessed Productions, the Tucker Twins movement, they're gonna have some great plays and events that you're gonna see coming up soon. Yes,
Well, the Tucker twins, those are Tampa girls.
that's
And
right.
so from just young adolescents on to teenagers, they have been performing all their lives.
Yes.
And the fact that they're still working together in production, in business, and something as important as the Tampa Bay Juneteenth Coalition. So you're there, you're involved in this great historical organization, and yet most people, even in our culture, don't have a clue about what Juneteenth is. And when we decided to do the show today, we wanted to talk about where it came from. We wanted our culture to understand. Sure, you can Google all of this stuff today, but it came as a result of the Emancipation Proclamation that happened, what, over 100 and probably 58 years ago.
Absolutely. To be exact, it started in 1863. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed by Abraham Lincoln, freeing
Yes.
the African Americans from slavery. And unfortunately, some people didn't get the memo.
I know,
So
right?
in Galveston, Texas, they were still under slavery. And then it took the boldness of our General Gordon Granger to
Yes.
actually come in with his 1,800 troops and tell them, no, the African Americans are free from slavery here. And in thus June 19th, 1865, is the day that Texas began celebrating their heritage, which cultivated into Juneteenth. And it's amazing that they're celebrating this. And I'm one of those people that were not aware. I don't know why, but for some reason, this was not taught until I got to college and, started really researching these things. So there are some people that are still unaware of what this
Absolutely.
Juneteenth is all about. So it's our duty, those who find out and need to know more about it, to educate our community. And that's what these Juneteenth celebrations are all about. But it's most important that we know the history behind it.
It is important.
Yes.
It's Very important. Even though we talk about that 2 year span from 1863 to 1865, by the time the memo got, that wasn't even snail mail, girl. That was
Yes.
forever mail
Yes.
for that to happen. But you can probably ask multiple kids across your path if they know what Juneteenth is. And you almost can't blame them because it's not something that's taught in schools. I remember going through school for 12 years, and I think I only heard it once.
Well,
But we can certainly tell you about Independence Day. We
oh,
can certainly tell.
definitely. That was made aware in books. And Juneteenth we have yet to see in books, but
Yes.
that is what we are fighting for. Our mother of Juneteenth, we like to call her Miss Opal Lee. She's 93 years young, and I got the awesome chance to sit down and talk to her at our Miss Juneteenth national pageant in Memphis, Tennessee, where all of the queens of Miss Juneteenth get together and compete for the national title. And
That is fantastic.
About walking. It's called Opal's Walk, walking for Juneteenth to become a national holiday. As you know, Juneteenth is only celebrated in 47 of the 52 states, and it is a statewide holiday recognized. But then we have so many other national holidays that are celebrated: National Sock Day, National Red Day, National.
Don't even give it break room.
For each month, there's a national day. But the emancipation of African Americans from slavery, that's huge. That needs to be a national holiday that is recognized. For our ancestors have gone through so much so far, and still fighting for our freedom. So that's why we are here to educate the community. There are so many different things that are involved. And if you go to All Things Juneteenth on Facebook, you will see that the communities here in Tampa are celebrating and educating people on what Juneteenth is all about.
You know what? I saw something last year, and people can Google it and they can probably go on your Facebook page and find it as well.
Yes.
And that was when the mayor came out. It was downtown Tampa, and Dr. Tucker Johnson had galvanized her organization. I believe it was the Buffalo Soldiers and some other individuals that were down on the plaza. And to see that flag, and Ricky, if you would show us that Juneteenth flag being raised in the city of Tampa. I know that's going to be one of your celebratory services. So why don't you take us through what's getting ready to happen? That's actually already starting to happen.
Oh, yes. And I'm so excited. Actually, I was there. I had the awesome privilege of singing our Negro anthem there at the raising of the Juneteenth flag ceremonies. Mary Jane Castor raised it in our city hall. And this year we will be doing the same, and it will be on June the 18th at 10 o'clock. And we're expecting all of Tampa that can come out to please all organizations come and celebrate your freedom with us as they raise the national Juneteenth flag. And then that evening, we will have the Tampa Miss Juneteenth pageant at Middleton. Tickets are $10, and it seats so many people. You are free to social distance yourself. So we'd like to have all of you to be there. And actually, you see my father, Parade Marshal, Robert Scott, Barbara Scott. They will definitely be judging the event, and Miss April LaFleur, which is our Miss Florida. Recent Miss Florida, and we have hosting from Channel 8, Deanne King. So we're expecting all of you to come out and support that. There's actually a 3-day event that will be taking place and called Rock the Block with the amazing things happening all weekend at Raymond James Stadium that will be coming out, and they have stages, and I believe there's going to be popcorn and just a cultural wealth celebration for 3 nights.
It is. As a matter of fact, that we're one of the sponsors. And so we had Queen Bee, Balaji was on our show last month to kick off all of the activities. And so, yes, DSI Black Pages has made an appeal to our advertisers to please, and I don't think it's too late, it's getting close, but you can still become a vendor and be a part of Rock the Block. And this is all of us should be able to participate. Come as a spectator, come as a business owner, be a sponsor, and come and participate in what she's calling culture, legacy, and community. So thank you so much for bringing that up. We will, at the end of the show, we will share a list of Juneteenth events happening across the Bay Area. And I believe this is the first year. We've had 2 or 3 events over the years happening here in Tampa Bay. But what's about to happen? Talk rocking the block. They're putting it on.
Great. Yes, and you're going to see the first appearance of the Tampa Miss Juneteenth 2021. So you guys stay tuned and be posted, because you're going to see after the pageant that she will make her first appearance at most of those events.
That's fantastic.
So that's exciting to see who will win the crown for Miss Tampa Juneteenth. And she will be also participating in the Miss National Juneteenth pageant against all of the other participating states that will be having their Miss Juneteenth pageant as well. So who will win the crown? Stay tuned to find out.
Oh my gosh. So we're kicking off the Tampa Bay Juneteenth pageant here for Juneteenth weekend. But what's the date of the national?
The nationals will be in October.
So, okay.
Yes, we will have more information as that becomes available, who will be participating from each state. And we are looking forward to, because we know that Florida, Tampa, we will be in the national Miss Juneteenth pageant.
Tampa's in the house.
Who will be our queen? Stay tuned to find out.
Well, let me ask you, tickets are on sale. Even if a person can't attend, they can purchase a ticket and donate a ticket. They can purchase groups of tickets to bring younger organizations so that they can see what this looks like. So little girls can see what this pageantry looks like and why it's important. Do you know, Ricky, do we have a picture of Juneteenth 2020? Miss Juneteenth?
This pageant is
there like she
no
is.
Other.
Oh my, look at that crown.
Amazing. And she competed for the National Miss Juneteenth and came in second runner up. So you will see her as well. She is representing all of Florida. We were the only one to represent Florida. Tampa is always
on the
map, aren't we?
So do you know if Miss Helena Chambers will be here this year? Well, yes, you have to pass the crown.
She will definitely be there. And so I look forward to you guys meeting with her, and she'll definitely be talking about Juneteenth with the younger generation who needs to break down the history and really understand what it is that we are celebrating in our culture. So she will be there. The Miss Tampa Juneteenth 2021 will be there, and we'll all be spreading the education to our community. So I look forward to that. Yes.
Well, you've made an amazing appeal for what our community can do. So to our radio listening audience, if you're joining us on Facebook Live, be it Let's Talk Business, In Touch News, our YouTube channel, perhaps you'll catch the show later this evening. We thank you for tuning in, but please share the post so that we can do what PaVonne Scott is asking us to do, and that is to come out and support the organization and all of the events. So you've made an appeal. Is Robert Scott nearby? Or did we lose him?
He is not nearby.
Okay, we lost him.
He's busy doing something. But I'll tell him he needs to come poke his head in so he can come and say hi to everyone. But I'll tell you this, we're just because so proud of what everybody's doing. Yes.
He's going to be one of the
Stay
guest
tuned for
panelists.
the MLK parade. Yes, he is, and we'll definitely try to get him to tell you more about 2022 MLK Day parade. So we'll get him
Well,
and
PaVonne, is there a float? Is there a float for Miss Juneteenth in the MLK pageant, in the MLK parade? Or has there been?
yes, there may be a float, or she might decide that she wants to walk and talk. However, she wants to do it. Miss Juneteenth will definitely be at the Miss Juneteenth parade.
Oh,
So
she's a
we'll be
queen. I
looking
think
forward
she
to
needs to
seeing
be
her
on her
at
own float.
every event. She's gonna be at she's gonna try to make the appearance because there's so many different celebrations that you'll see that are happening in the Tampa Bay community. She'll be at the Jazz Cultural Fest with Maurice Allen, and
Awesome.
yes, and she'll definitely be making her appearance throughout the Rock the Block. And you'll see her at the pageant performing because she's an amazing performer and she dances very well. And you'll definitely see her all over Tampa at the different events.
Well, that's
So,
awesome because
yeah.
we would love to have your involvement and share the story. And we'd love to certainly include Miss Juneteenth from last year as she is passing the crown over to the future Miss Juneteenth. So I am here as publisher of DSI Black Pages. We will then make sure that that story is being told so that we can capture, just like we do with the Black Heritage Festival, so that we can capture the essence of our first Rock the Block cultural event in celebrating Juneteenth. So I am really excited. I'm looking forward
Oh,
to
I'm
that. And we
so
will certainly reach out
excited.
to some businesses to see how they can help us pull this off. So that's just fantastic.
This
That's
pageant is like
fantastic.
something you've never seen before. So we definitely want to have the younger people come out and see what makes our pageant different from any other pageant that we've ever seen. And it's the culture. You're going to love it. So I hope to see you guys at Middleton on June the 18th at 6 p.m. Get your tickets on Eventbrite, or you can inbox PaVonne Scott. That's me, and I can get you physical tickets if you like those as
Well,
well.
don't
We have them
worry,
available,
Pavane, you're
and
not going
afterwards we're going to have
you're not going anywhere. And
musical
we will
celebration.
post all of this information in our thank you post, and we will tag you in that post as well. But I heard you say that the Miss Juneteenth pageant is going to be at Middleton High School. Let me tell you another story. You may know this already, but my mom and your grandfather were graduates of Middleton, if you heard me say that at the beginning of the show. So now for both of us to be able to walk back into, and my daughter also is a graduate of Middleton. She graduated from the first graduating class of the new Middleton Senior High School. So that was pretty cool.
Oh,
So it's good that you all
yes, that
have
is
the
history.
it is. It's a lot of history. I mean, that's what Juneteenth is all about. We were not slaves, but those that were slaves that were freed is a part of our history because they are a part of us and we are a part of them. So the pageant, let's see, the pageant is the center. Oh, the center of manifestation. That's where it's going to be. The play, okay, the play is at
Yes,
Middleton, but the pageant is going to be at the center of manifestation. Is that correct, Pavane?
yes,
You checking your
yes.
facts?
Okay. I just yeah, I just saw somebody come
Oh,
on
there
over
he is.
here.
Wow, look what
There
colors
he
he
is,
has on.
our
Ooh, ooh. Hello, Mr. Scott. How are you?
Okay,
That's
Delta
I'm fantastic in yourself.
You already know I'm
I had to.
fantabulous. My daughter's
I know
word.
that.
So listen, so you have the honor of being one of the judges at the Miss Juneteenth pageant.
Yes, I'm blessed on that.
Yes, this is going to be a great, great celebration. And my father, Robert Scott, will be one of the judges, and wife, Barbara Scott. So this is going to be great. You guys
Okay,
have
well, we're gonna
got to
as we
come
get
and
ready
see
to
this.
sign off for commercial, I would love to hear Mr. Scott make an appeal so that all of Tampa can come out, what would you say to this radio listening audience, Mr. Scott?
I would say that they need to come out and watch the young ladies. They're very talented, and it's a wonderful event, and it's for a wonderful cause. So it would be really, really nice for them to come out and really try to understand what Juneteenth is all about, as well as how these young ladies, because all of them are high school kids, how talented they are and how they will impact us in the future.
Awesome, awesome. And I'll make a promise to you, Mr. Scott. We'll have you come on the show and talk to us about the MLK parade that's going to be happening January 2022.
All right. I'm looking forward to that.
We'll see you as we break for commercial. We'll be back in 2 minutes. I see Paul Rayvon is already joining us, and he's going to talk to us in about 2 minutes about his involvement with the Juneteenth Coalition. So you all stay tuned, put your logos up. We'll see you back in 2.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Listen to In Touch Radio anywhere. On your phone.
I'm listening to right now, man.
In your car.
I'll keep that going.
On your computer. It's a new world, baby, and we are global. In Touch Radio.
Hi, this is Angela Birdsong, and during the week, I'm affectionately known as the Medicare lady. Do not try to navigate Medicare without me. Please call me at 813-476-4837. I also do life insurance, and I will help people who are Medicare, Medicaid. Once again, 813-476-4837. 4837.
And we are back. Let's see, waiting for PaVonne to pop back on. But while we're waiting for PaVonne, thank you to those of you who are joining us on our Facebook Live. We appreciate you spending your lunch break with us. Please be sure and share the post, like it as well. And there she is, the woman that's coordinating all of the beauty that's coming in the pageantry for Miss Juneteenth. Welcome back to the show. So now we have joining us.
Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Is another friend and colleague of mine, but he's here today because he is a part of the Juneteenth festivities. Attorney Paul Rayvon himself. Welcome to Let's Talk Business with Cheryl J. Cousseau.
Thanks, Cheryl. I'm happy to be here.
You know, I have to tell you guys a story. I have the show, but I met Paul. Paul, what was the name of your show on WTMP?
It was the Call for Help show.
The Call for Help show. I was going to call it the Help show, but the Call for Help. You and Malcolm, you were giving away some tickets, and I called and I won the tickets, and I turned around and blessed them to members of my church. And after that, we met when I picked the tickets up, and you have been there. And I'm pleased to know that of what you're doing with Juneteenth. One of the things we were talking about right before the commercial break was the importance of companies and businesses coming to support this great event. So we're talking about Juneteenth. We started off talking about the Emancipation Proclamation, which again, a law that was given and the slaves were freed. And now we are sharing and collaborating with different organizations and how we can celebrate this freedom. And it's important that we have partners and businesses and major corporations that come because they understand the value. They want to be a part of social justice. They want to do their part. And when I first met you, that's what you were already doing.
Absolutely.
So how did you pivot to the Juneteenth Coalition?
I guess God brought me there. I honestly didn't know very much about Juneteenth when I was first approached to be a sponsor or get involved. Probably like a lot of people, it's not that well known.
Right.
It's definitely more known now than it was a few years ago, but I didn't know that much about it, but I heard about it and really believed in the people who were getting involved in it. And so we've been a sponsor, I think, for 3 years now, and they let me be on the board. So I'm part of it now.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate your support. And let me be the first to say, and I was sharing this with PaVonne earlier, it's not just you have been a supporter of the Tampa Bay community. I was at an event with you, and it was Clustine Hubert was there, and you were one of the sponsors. And I'll never forget what you said. And you said that your law firm could spend tens of thousands of dollars advertising and doing things for your firm. And you decided that you all, or your firm decided that you all would use your advertising dollars and support causes and initiative that was going to impact the communities.
That's right.
You
Cheryl.
said that. And then I got to witness it.
Well, Cheryl, let's talk business. Think about every time you go down the interstate, what do you see? Billboards for attorneys, right?
Digital ones today.
Yes. Most people probably don't know how much those cost, but it's over $5,000.
It's lucrative because I'm in the advertising business, so it's very expensive.
I would say it's over $5,000 a month the last time I looked, but I haven't looked for several years. So when you think about all of that money that's being spent on that and TV advertising, which is also very expensive, imagine if some or all of that money could be poured back into the community, what a difference it would make. But I guess I shouldn't give away my secrets because then my competitors would try to do it as well. But I think that when you give or when you support the community supports you, so I believe in doing it for business reasons, but also just because it's the right thing to do.
What do you say to that, PaVonne? It's the right thing to do.
It's an awesome thing to do, and it's the right thing to do because our community needs to participate and be aware of everything that's going on surrounded by this Juneteenth commemorative celebration.
Absolutely. And for him to have a part in that, and because you just happen, PaVonne, to be the daughter of the president of the ML King Parade Foundation, Mr. Robert Scott, I was sharing with you that when I met Paul, he came to the campus of what we call Wakanda. My co-host Derek Blue isn't here today, Paul, because he's preparing for a special business segment with Spectrum Bay News 9. But he calls it Wakanda, and we create Vibrenum. So you came on our campus to meet the president, the members. I had my board at that time, from the ML King Gala Committee, and you said, how can I support you? How can I support the gala? How can I support the ML King Parade? And man, did you put your money where your mouth was. And you did the right thing. And you are still supporting both of these initiatives and others. I remember you supporting the East Tampa Christmas tree lighting. And to see you take on such, and your firm to take on such an active role, that means a lot. Tell us a little bit about your firm and what you all are doing in the Tampa Bay area.
Well, again, my name is Paul Rabine, and it's called Rabine Brothers, PA. We're a personal injury law firm. We handle primarily car accidents and slip and fall accidents, but we also do civil rights cases, and they're handling a high-profile civil rights case right now that's going to trial in November.
Oh my!
Which I can talk about a little bit. But we started. I used to work for a big law firm representing corporations, and I had an epiphany, midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it, that I just wasn't happy doing that. You know, it wasn't connecting to my soul. And so I said, God, I feel like you're asking me to do something here.
Wow.
But I need you to give me a sign. Now, I warn you, don't do this. Don't do this unless you're ready for the sign, which of course I was not ready for it. But I said, I feel like you're asking me to strike out on my own, but give me a sign, but I don't want it to be just any sign. I want it to be one that I cannot deny.
Ooh.
And so don't do this. I don't recommend it unless you really are all in. And so 5 minutes later, the phone rang, and it was the senior partner in the law firm. And at the time, I was representing ADT Security nationwide. It was my biggest client. And the partner said, Paul, I hate to tell you this, but ADT just called and they fired you. And I said, oh, God, I'm surprised at that because I was just with their general counsel last Friday and he hugged me and said he loved me, which he's never done before. And he said, well, that was what's so weird about it. I asked him why he was doing it, and he said he didn't know. Oh, so I said, God, I hear you. That's the sign I was waiting for. And so I packed up my bag and left. And he's been with me ever since. And it was, of course, the best decision I ever made. So I actually do recommend it. It's just can be difficult sometimes if you ask for a sign and then you get it. And it's something you're scared to do, So we've been involved in the community ever since. I just believe in if you can't outgive God. If you give back, it's going to come back to you tenfold. And that's what I've experienced. And so that's why I adopted the principles that I've adopted, and it's served me well ever since, and never looking back.
That is awesome. And as we say, you can't beat God's giving.
No.
I'm talking to you on your radio show, and then God opens up this platform so that I can have a show and make an impact on the community and bring businesses in to bring awareness to who they are, where they are, and as well, bring on individuals like a PaVonne Scott, like Dr. P. Tucker Johnson to talk about their organizations, like a Robert Scott to talk about his organization, my co-host, Derek Blue, the CEO of the FACT Group, and there are multiple businesses that's under that. You were on the campus of 5508, the ML King Parade office is on the campus of 5. Matter of fact, they started in a little cubby hole, and now they have this really, really big, nice office on the campus of 5508. And to be able to do that, and you share your personal experience about asking God for a sign and then being led by God. So here we are talking about Juneteenth, and this is the organization that you decide to support, and now you sit on their board doing what you do. So, Paul, what would you say to other businesses, what they can do to help? Because in order to put on any type of event, we've listened to PaVonne talk about what these girls are going through, and she'll share with us a little more. You'll let us know, do they each need sponsors, PaVonne? But we have Paul right here on the show, and he can certainly help us make an appeal to some of our other majority businesses. what can they do? What would you say to them, Paul?
Well, obviously give money. Number one, give money, give as much as you possibly can. But, more than that, I would say take some time to get to know the people who are in the organization and, really step in and get involved a little bit personally so that you have that personal connection and it'll be well worth your time. And we need that,
We do.
I have to ask, why was it Juneteenth well known in the community a few years ago? And why is it still, just getting some traction now? And why are there some states that don't recognize it as a holiday? Did you guys know that there were some states that did not recognize this as a holiday?
Yeah, well, that number is growing though. Just a year ago it was 40, and now we're up to PaVonne 47 states.
7 states. And we're still pushing for the initiative of Juneteenth to become a national holiday.
Yes.
Each state is working hard. And like they said, we do need the money. We do need the support. We do need the education to go about in our communities on what Juneteenth is all about. And that's what these celebrations do. They bring all of us together as a culture and as a heritage, and we talk about it and we bring forth the initiative of making it national so that everybody will know what Juneteenth is all about.
Well, I tell you what, Paul said it best. We can't do it without that money. And Paul, if you remember from the first gala we did, my committee got on stage and we took this line from one of our favorite radio hosts back then. And she had a show on, I call her Miss Love. And her thing was when she ended her show, she said, I can say everything that I need to say. I can tell you all what to do, where to go, who to support. But at the end of the day, I need you to write that check. So when we made the appeal for donations at the ML King Parade, our whole entire committee just simply said, listen, folk, you're here, you're looking good, you're dressed in all of your gala attire, you've had an amazing dinner, you've been amazingly entertained, but right now, we need you to what?
Right.
Write that check.
Yes.
Yes.
So probably now you have to learn how to say
that. Okay.
I say it to insurance companies every day on behalf of my clients. It's time to write the check.
So stop all of the talking. There's no more. And so this year, it's even more important. We have spent, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, all of us, the whole world went through this. And for almost a year and a half, we were pretty much quarantined in our own homes. And so a lot has been talked about it, but I'm here to tell you, I have seen, as a result of that, as a result of Black Lives Matter, listen, Black Lives Matter was a movement that started years ago, but as a result of what happened with all of the deaths that's affecting our communities all over when it comes to, especially African-American males, but males and females, and police brutality, we are now having a conversation and everybody is talking about it. And I have seen it on major television stations now. I've seen it come from attorneys to entertainment, to actors, actresses, to the sports legends, and they're all saying enough is enough. We all need to do our part and come together. I'm hearing more about social justice today than I have ever heard about it. And so here you are telling us that you're fighting for a case. You've got Ms. Scott here talking about the importance of teaching our children about Juneteenth, letting them know that there was such a thing called the Emancipation Proclamation and when it happened in 1863, but we didn't get the memo in Texas until 1865. That's a part of our history.
Yes. And it needs to be told.
That's the African American Independence Day.
Yes. Everywhere.
But let me take this opportunity because Paul wasn't able to, he wanted to come on and speak to his passion and his reason for supporting the Juneteenth Coalition. And I'm so glad that they have asked you to become a part of their board so that you can have a voice and share even more so with other corporations the importance in writing that check. So let me take this opportunity to have you give out how people can reach you and your law firm, Paul. And thank you so much for coming on to share with
absolutely.
us your passion.
So the best way to reach me is to call me, and the phone number is easy. It's 813-305-PAUL. So that's 813-305-7285. So if you get in an accident, who are you going to call? Call 813-305-PAUL. Would love to take care of you and develop hopefully a long-term relationship with you. But you talked about, police brutality and issues with the police and
Absolutely.
progress that's slowly, hopefully being made in our communities. But what happened to George Floyd, everybody knows
Absolutely
what happened to him. But you may not have heard about Arthur Green. He was stopped by the police several years ago, before it was so well publicized when these type of things would happen. He was an older gentleman, African American, in his 60s, and he had diabetes. And he was having a diabetic episode where he had very low blood sugar. When people have diabetes, you think of them as having really high blood sugar.
right.
But when you take insulin, and if you take too much or you just have a reaction to it or whatever, your blood sugar can drop dangerously low, and that
Correct.
affects your ability to think, communicate, and function. Well, his blood sugar had dropped pretty low, and he was driving very slowly down Central Avenue in Tampa over in Seminole Heights. And someone called the police and said, there's someone who needs help. I think they're having a medical issue. And so the police came, and he by that time, the vehicle was sort of half on the road and half not on the road. And they, of course, believed he was drunk because of the way he was driving. And they called for backup because he wouldn't get out of the car, his truck. And they took him to the ground and handcuffed him and put their weight on his upper shoulder and neck until he died. They called the ambulance at that point, but it was too late. And he unfortunately passed away for no good reason other than how the police saw him, So we have been fighting this case for years. We started in federal court, and believe it or not, it got dismissed. You may have heard about a doctrine called qualified immunity. It's getting a lot of attention right now that it should be abolished. It's basically gives the police a free pass to do whatever they want to do. And that's what happened here. The case was dismissed in federal court. We appealed that to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and they affirmed the trial court's decision. And we have appealed it to the U.S. Supreme Court, and they declined to hear it. But there is still one claim left in state court, that a state law negligence claim. So the case got sent to state court. We've been fighting it out with the city of Tampa Police Department ever since. But a separate trial in November. And so hopefully the Green family can get some sort of justice during that trial. Stay tuned.
Thank you for sharing that with us. We talked
we're working on the case right now. And hopefully, we'll be able to show the jury exactly what happened. It's all on video, fortunately. And they're not being charged criminally like the officer in George Floyd's case was. But this is a civil suit, and hopefully the jury will, do justice in that case. So there is still
All right. Well, listen, Paul, thank you for sharing that story. We will put your contact information on our thank you post. Just hang tight. To you, PaVonne, thank you so much for sharing with us about the Juneteenth Coalition celebration and activities coming up. This is the month of June, a month of graduations. So we do want to just take a couple of minutes and roll through some of our graduates. All of the month of June, at the end of our show, we will be saluting graduates. And so, PaVonne, what we'll do is have you send your cousin's information in, and we will go ahead and add him to one of our shows coming up. But I want to take this opportunity as the graduates. Let's see, Let's Talk Business with SJC, my co-host Derek Blue. He has some graduates that we will be, or a graduate that we will be shouting out on next week as well. And so if you are or have a graduate in your family, please email letstalkbusiness@gmail.com, or we'll have the link in our thank you post, because we want to be able to honor those graduates. And so we have some that we will share with you. Ricky, if you have them, we can go ahead and roll them on the screen. If not, I take this opportunity to again say to you, Paul, oh, there we go. And so this is from one of our family members. This is India Watkins. And so she's a part of the Let's Talk Business show. Aaliyah Watkins is her mom. She's a graduate from Riverview High School. Let's see who else we have. We've got a couple of high school graduates. Oh, there's Robert Pierce Blunt from Tampa Prep. How about that? Yay. There's Robert. Congratulations. Zoe Ruth Mulkey, another Tampa Prep graduate. And these kids are having to go through graduation so different from the way we all graduated, but we wanted to use this platform. And there's Earl Watts. Earl is actually from the Atlanta, Georgia area, PaVonne.
All right.
So congratulations. Those are seniors in high school. And if you have a little one graduating or a college. So I can't have a show called Let's Talk Business and I'm not let you in my business, but that's my grandbaby. That's Yanare Kuso graduating from pre-K. Congratulations. And then there is Julia Sneed, another pre-K graduate. And so let's give a to all of those graduates. Remember, send your information to letstalkbusiness@gmail.com. We will add them at the end of our show. Cheryl? If you didn't get anything else out of this show, we are celebrating Juneteenth. We are celebrating freedom in the African-American culture, and we are celebrating those who understand the importance of our plight and are joining in, like Paul, to make a difference in our community. It's American community. And with that, we take this opportunity to say thank you for joining Let's Talk Business. We'll see you back for the second hour of the show. Dr. Sinead Davis will be coming in, and she's talking to us about men's health. And you know, this is also the month to celebrate our fathers. Oh, where's your daughter?
That's my granddaughter. It's her birthday today.
Gosh. She is beautiful.
I'd like to give her a shout out. Kabali Jackson, 12 years old today.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, go ahead and shout out your cousin, PaVonne.
I'd like to send a congratulations to Malik Thomas of South Carolina. Yeah. Congratulations, he's graduating today.
Well, I'd like to shout out for my wife who graduated as a doctor of nurse practitioner. Congratulations. Awesome. Dr. Rabine.
That is so, and she is such a jewel. Thank you so much. You tell her, if she's watching the show, congratulations, girl. We are so proud of you and what you're doing, especially in the medical community. We can't have enough. in individuals. I got my undergraduate. I started my undergraduate in nursing. So to have people who love and enjoy and care for individuals, that's just a God-given talent. So I thank you all. Be sure to tune in to all of the activities coming up for Juneteenth. Ricky, if you can scroll some of those Juneteenth activities. It's important to understand Rock the Block is putting on a 3-day event. Hey, PaVonne, how should we dress for the pageant?
I think you should dress nice, in your pageantry best, because, everyone will be looking nice. We'll have our Miss Junior Juneteenth, our Miss Juneteenth, and our Miss National Tampa Juneteenth Queens. So I'm looking for you and you to get those tickets on Eventbrite, and I'm looking for you to cut the check for the contestants, okay? And have lots of ads supporting our event. And I'd like to thank you so much, Cheryl, for coming on, and Paul for what you're doing. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate you guys so much. Let's get it to the community.
All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. This show is a wrap.